Hi everyone, thanks for coming. How are you? I'm very happy to be here. I flew all the way from Miami to present ARTISANT and also to share my passion, which is fashion, with you. This is the outline of what I'm going to talk about. And first, of course, I would like to introduce myself. When people ask me what is my favorite thing in the world, of course I say he's my dog, Rocco. He's my best friend and my best teacher. He taught me unconditional love. I'm also a former TV host. It's been my longest career by far, over 10 years. This is the shot of Junior Eurovision show that I hosted, and I guess I can brag about it in Europe. At least you heard about Eurovision, because in America no one cares. I'm also a writer. I write children's books. It's my portal into the world where I can be myself, a kid. And I am also obsessed with beautiful dresses. I've done everything in my life out of love for fashion. And this is a beautiful dress that I got on ARTISANT. And this is the new chapter of my life, which is digital fashion. I'm a part of ARTISANT team, and I couldn't be more happy and proud to work for this project. We are a platform, a Web3 platform. We are a marketplace that is open for minting for every designer from every part of the world. We also do curated projects with famous designers, traditional brands, and even book writers coming up this year. And we are also a beautiful community of designers. Since the space is very new, we feel compelled to share our knowledge and do tutorials for designers every week. And I think we're a very beautiful and inspiration community for designers. We already accomplished quite a few projects. We worked with interesting brands such as Puma. We did an upcycled wedding collection with them for Decentraland Fashion Week, North Face, Converse, Gucci, you name that. And we did a collaboration. We did a cover with GQ. And we have a pipeline of very interesting events that we are willing to accomplish this year. One of them that I'm very excited about is Women in NFT conference that we do in collaboration with Puma Women. Apparently only 5% of NFT sales are made by female artists, so we want to be supportive since our founder is female. She's in the room, Regina. We also do a collaboration with one of my favorite writers, Dmitry Gluchovsky. He's the writer of Metro 2033, which is also a very famous video game that sold over 125 million copies. The next exciting thing that is going to happen around NFT NYC is our drop with Pixel Art and Ready Player Me. You can scan the QR code to get more information on the website, and I'm going to go back to talking about it a little bit later. And of course, we want to be practical and make our NFTs useful. So we want to build every design, every outfit as a wearable and in the metaverse. We think, and it's very logical, in real life we use clothes, watches, cars to flex and to indicate our social status, and we think that digital clothes will be the same thing for avatars. So it's very important to be prepared for that. So guys, clearly I do love fashion. What about you? Do you love fashion? Raise your hands. Okay, not bad, not bad. I expected less hands. So whether you love it or not, the point is that you're wearing multiple items right now, clothing items, and you're going to be a recurring customer for life. In the real world, and if we moved into digital, probably you're going to have the same situation digital. I also think that fashion is a very important part of our life, whether you care about it or not. This is the shot of from one of my favorite movies. It's a fashion movie, Zoolander. I posted it because I think that fashion is the business of identity. You cannot care about what you wear and wear a black shirt and black jeans, and this is your fashion statement as well. Or you can buy overpriced Balenciaga t-shirt and show the world that you care too much about what you wear. So with that idea in mind, we also build our platform, ARTISANT, and we help people to define themselves in a digital world. I also believe that fashion has a lot of symbolism. I don't want to go too far in the history, but like every century has some kind of symbols in fashion and kind of reflected what was going on in society. It's a mirror of society, I believe. As an example, I wanted to bring up Coco Chanel because she's a big symbol in feminist movement, and she was the one who actually put pants on women as a sign that we are equal to men and we can do the same things, and it's more than just clothes. It's practically a symbol of this change in society and for women gaining more rights. And today, as a symbol for me, I'm wearing Ralph Lauren head to toe because he's an immigrant in the first generation who came to America from my home country, Belarus, with a big dream. And he built his empire from an idea, and his brand is growing every decade and becoming more and more strong. And he has a very strong philanthropic element in his company. So for me, it means a lot. And I guess the fact that I'm wearing his designs today makes me feel more empowered and confident to be here. So this is one of the most interesting designs that were ever worn at Met Gala, ever. Maybe you don't recognize, but it's Kim Kardashian wearing Balenciaga at Met Gala 2021. And if we think about fashion as symbolism, I think this outfit speaks a lot about post-pandemic society and where we are right now. I also want to touch base on dark sides of fashion and why I actually got into digital fashion and started taking it seriously, because I came from a side that was over-consuming and disrespecting the nature by buying too many things. So I think, and this is obviously the truth, that leading brands gaslight consumers and manipulate us into buying more than we need. So we end up with cluttered closets, and if you live in New York in an apartment that the size of a closet, it can be a very serious problem. Also, fashion industry is the second largest polluter in the world after oil industry. It's not that pretty and fancy after all. 40% of Western closets goes unworn, and I'm sure many people can relate. We buy things on sale just because the price is low, and then we never wear it. Also, fashion is responsible for 10% of carbon emissions, and it's more than all the flights and maritime shipping combined. And 85% of our clothes end up in landfills, all being burned. Apparently, Burberry burns 45% of everything they produce, which I think is very hypocritical and very sad, and we should talk about it more. Also, I'm not going to talk about it because it's sad, but fashion uses child labor and unethical sourcing. So here we are. Clearly, we are at the point where we know too much to pretend that everything is fine. And we can declare clearly that traditional fashion needs reformation. And since I've thought about it a lot, I think that the best reform for fashion will be digital fashion. Let's be logical and just discuss for a moment about what's going on in the world. I read some research, and apparently, on average globally, we spend 2 hours, 22 minutes a day communicating online, 65 minutes a day communicating offline, which is more than 2 times less than online. And 60% of Gen Zers and 62% of millennials state that their digital appearances are more important than physical ones. If we go back to my initial statement that fashion is the business of identity and it helps us to define ourselves, as we transition from Web 2 heads down to Web 3 heads up environment where digital identity is way more relevant than physical one, it makes sense that digital fashion will be more relevant as well. Does it make sense? Yeah, I think it's very logical. And this is like, I think, a bit of a unique case because it's something good and very ethical, but it's also an amazing business opportunity. which doesn't happen often. So the fashion industry generates $2.5 trillion a year, and through Web3 and all the tools that we can integrate into traditional fashion, in the next 2 decades, they can double, traditional fashion can double their revenue, which I think is pretty impressive. A great example of things that already happened in fashion world, Fortnite's collaborations with several big brands. So with this collaboration, Fortnite generated $3.7 billion, which is more than combined revenue of the leading luxury brands such as Prada, Versace, Burberry, Valentino, and Balenciaga. These are their collaborations. They did a collab with Moncler, Air Jordan, and the most famous one was Balenciaga. And I also think that digital fashion, and for me as a creative person, it's my favorite part. It's an amazing creative opportunity on both sides, creators and users. I think digital fashion gives more freedom to designers, clearly, because they don't need to raise capital. They don't need sewing machines, fabrics, special education, or someone's permission to start creating. All they need is Wi-Fi connection and software. With that being said, I want to tell the story of one of my favorite designers who sells on ARTISANT. Her name is Digital Mary. She's a designer from Ukraine. She's been minting with us for a while, and I would say we're friends. She created this design in a shelter during the war. She refused to leave because her husband went to war as a soldier, and she chose to stay. So she minted this design, and she said for her, it meant so much that despite being so disconnected from the world and going through something pretty terrible, she still could show her art to the world, escape from her reality, and know that the world sees her and can support her financially, and she can still make money. And we have a lot of stories like that where designers wouldn't create and sell otherwise if it wasn't for digital fashion. I also think that digital fashion is much cooler than a traditional fashion because it gives you more freedom of self-expression. So one of the things, like, it's animation, you can have wings, or your dresses can glow like ice, or your outfits can be bloody dangerous as this one. This one was created by our community manager, Moshi. It can have cool neon glasses or a flying dragon as an accessory. I don't think that there is any brand in traditional fashion that can provide that or beat that. Another great thing about digital fashion, of course, is avatars. With Web3, we get to recreate ourselves from scratch because whether we want it or not, in traditional world, we are defined by some limiting factors. It's our body size, whether we are extra small or extra large, skin tones, gender, etc. And in Web3, these things do not exist, and we get to pick for ourselves who we are, how we look, what our size is. And there's just a few examples of one of my favorite movie, Ready Player One, and that shows how different people can see themselves in the metaverse. And this part of allowing ourselves to have different colors for hair and skin, different sizes, shapes, and even being different creatures is very empowering as well for me. I also prepared several pieces of advice for you guys that I think is very simple and very practical. First one is, if you want to save this baby sloth and other beautiful creatures, including us humans, gorgeous but not wise, please look into digital fashion and stop using fast fashion today. Of course, upcycle and recycle. It's not only practical, saves money, but it's also very fun if you get into it. Follow ARTISANT across all the platforms. And as a thank you for me for flying all the way from Miami and sharing my love and passion with you, please scan this barcode, reshare, fill out the form, and as our gift from ARTISANT, we're gonna give to you a gorgeous NFT. I hope, it looks like QR code worked, right? Yeah. Awesome, yeah. Oh yes, that's the best part. Now let's have a dialogue, of course.
So is the fashion that you're selling usable in Ready Player Me? Or is it just the NFT that I then hold? Or what is the utility of it?
Well, different projects, for example, the drop that I was talking about, that is coming at, we are dropping around NFT NYC, there will be wearables.
How do you contribute art? Like, let's say I wanted to make a dress. How do I get it on the platform?
Just follow simple instructions.
Like that's on the website?
It's on the website, step by step, 3 steps. Boom, you're done. Also, as part of us giving back to the community, we give scholarships to young designers and help them meet their outfits, because it can be quite costly on Ethereum.
Hi. Have major brands entered the space, like Ralph Lauren, for example, or like is it mostly just independent designers?
Well, it's a great question. I would say it's both. Ralph Lauren integrated AR try-ons on their website already. Balenciaga, Gucci, Dolce already did collaborations with.
Yeah, I can advise Web3 Commerce Twitter account, and they made a whole presentation about physical fashion brands, digital fashion platforms, all brands who doing digital fashion in this field, and it's really might be helpful.
Yeah, so there are a lot of luxury fashion brands that are trying it. Like Dolce & Gabbana last year sold their small drop for $8.3 million, which was very cool. Most of it was acquired by Red DAO. However, I think they're like looking at it as a business opportunity and as a marketing gimmick. They're just like playing with it right now and toying with the idea. Maybe it will work out, maybe it won't, but it's very trendy, so they do it. However, for me, it's a innovator's dilemma. It's a question of like David vs Goliath, like big brands who have a lot of power or small creative people who are native to this technology and this philosophy. And I would always stand with people who are native to this technology and most genuinely believe in it. So I think the biggest breakthrough in digital fashion will be done by digital native designers, definitely.
So where will I wear my digital fashion items? On what platforms? Is it like on Instagram, etc.? Where do you see the space going in that sense? Like, where do I display my digital identity in that sense?
Yeah.
Do these metaverses already exist, or is that something evolving?
It does.
Or?
Yeah, I mean, unlike most of the NFTs, I think digital fashion wearables are very practical ones. I personally post a lot of my outfits on Instagram, and it's very fun because I get this instant gratification of showing off something cool and looking stylish without like buying an actual outfit. So you can do that. Of course, you can use it as an avatar on social media. And in case if it's a wearable, which we did with a collaboration with Puma for Decentraland, or Pixel Art collection, you can also wear it in Metaverse. And we are working in a direction and preparing more collaborations to do wearables and wear them in Metaverse.
Which Metaverse are you looking specifically? Only Decentraland or also others?
Oh, definitely not just Decentraland. Decentraland has great potential. Like during Decentraland Fashion Week, they had 1,800,000 users, unique users, which is cool. But at the same time, I think there are other great metaverses. I like On Cyber. I think it has great tech. It's very advanced. It gives a lot of tools, free tools to experiment. It's very easy to onboard. I also like this metaverse called Kipo. Yeah, I know it's not very famous, but it has 50,000 unique users a day. It's a social network and a dating metaverse. It's actually, I think it's a bit under-discovered, but I played with it and I had fun. Generally, there are a lot of people there and they interact, and we're actually considering doing collaboration with them as well.
That's Meta Tinder.
Sorry?
It's Meta Tinder.
Meta Tinder, they're the first one and they're the smartest ones, I think. Yeah. Kipo. It's K-I-P-P-O. It's a good idea, right? Okay, guys, do you have more questions for me? Okay, then, thank you so much for your time. It was really fun.